Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be talking about XRP. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button and don't forget if you're new to the channel to subscribe and stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay, let's get into this. So XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart and Binance is the data source. We're specifically taking a look at these micro movements and kind of give you my thoughts and expectations of what might actually be occurring next. Now there's obvious things here that we probably need to be aware of, and that's the structural move of this. Okay, it's quite clearly a three-wave drop at the moment, and we can use our fibs to kind of indicate this to us. Okay, so we can have a look and take this high point just up here. We just snap that to the wick, move this fib over to our double top scenario just here, so you can kind of see this double top just here. Okay, and then we can see that we came down and we rested on the 1.236. Okay, now as I kind of remove this, before I actually do, I'm just going to mark up this 1.618 low point just here. Okay, this basically comes in at 31.56. Okay, that's going to be the point where this no longer is a three-wave drop and becomes a five-wave drop. Now, at the moment, this looks like a 3-3-5 correction. Okay, meaning that we have three waves at the beginning, just over this side. And we can kind of measure this in a couple of different ways, but I think this is probably going to be the easiest way of saying it, ABC there. And then, of course, we move on up into our double top with three waves. And then this side here is a five-wave drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for 5. Okay, so at the moment this stands as a three-wave move, which consists of 3, 3, 5. Okay, so that is corrective, meaning that it is short term, and we then move on up from here. Okay, so that's an important thing just to kind of note. Okay, so let's jump into the most recent structure. Okay, which is this one here. Okay, this is a five-wave drop. Again, we can take our fibs and we can just do some quick checks on this. We can just grab the high point, move this over to our bounce, which is just about there, and you can see that the 1.618 is this from trigger point just down here, and we continue to move down before bouncing up a little bit. Okay, so we know that our third wave is going to be down here, this being our fourth wave, which is three waves in itself, and we're looking to finish this off by another drop. Okay, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to grab hold of our fibs, we're going to run it from the bottom to the top here, and we're going to now mark up our expectations. Now, for a five-wave move, our fifth wave is typically between 1.236 and 1.618 times that of wave 4. This basically means that the higher that wave 4 goes, the lower that wave 5 goes. Okay, now if we go ahead and draw this up, we go 1, 2, down here for 3, up here for 4, down here into 5. And as I said, all of that is 3, 3, 5, basically allowing us to say this is a giant A, B, and C. So at the point of this low point for XRP, we would expect a move to the upside, and we would expect this to be, at least a three-wave structure of some kind, okay, following the rest of the crypto space at that point. With that being said, it's important to note that this is just Elliott-Wave theory, right? Some of you guys might not be overly familiar with Elliott-Wave theory, and some of you might. But basically here, between the 1.236 and the 1.618, we're talking about 32.05 cent and 32.69 cent, okay? That's kind of the expectations. Let's talk about this structure here without the requirement of Elliott-Wave theory. What do we actually see that's going on here? Even if we don't want to follow wave counts, we can also see some pretty obvious things. So the first thing we should probably acknowledge is the range of buying pressure. Okay, so buying pressure is coming in right in here. Okay, and this is pretty obvious, this area where we're wicking into it and then we're moving out of it pretty rapidly. In fact, there was a closure here and then the very next candle took us above. We moved in. Every time we're closing in, we're moving above pretty rapidly, right? So we know that this is a high zone of buying pressure. Okay, now when we start taking a look at the upper end, we can of course see that there is in fact ourselves setting up some lower highs. Okay, so we have our kind of a descending triangular shape wedge appearing here. Okay, it's slightly different to the wedge shape that was happening at the top end. This was more of a triangle wedge, which is basically coming down like that, and we're breaking down from it. On this side here, however, what we are actually looking at is a descending triangular wedge. The descending triangular wedge basically is consistent buying pressure at the bottom. However, the sellers are gaining more and more momentum, and it's bringing us down. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on down into the next layer, right? If we start talking about the stochastic RSI and a junction with all of these structures, whether we're talking five-wave moves or whether we're talking descending triangular wedges, what we're actually talking about here is a potential breakdown to the downside. Okay, so the fifth wave coming down into our sweet spot down here, as we kind of spoke about earlier, and our momentum indicator is giving us also a good indication that there is going to be some downward price pressure. So here for XRP on the hourly chart, we can see that we're almost in the overbought area, and we're looking for corrective action. If we jump up to the 8 hour, we can see something very similar, very close to the overbought area. So we're going to be running out of momentum here, and we're going to be looking for room to the downside. The same thing is for the 4 hour, the hour. The 30-minute is actually correcting down right now, and the 15-minute is already down in this oversold area. So for the most part, there's going to be a little bit of volatility. I'm not expecting this to drop down instantaneously. I think we've got a little bit more room and to kind of move up a little bit, kind of bounce around a tad, and then we'll start to pull back down in a more significant way after. But down, I do think we are likely to go. Although we might just be bouncing around for a little bit, might see some 1% moves here and there, down and up. Essentially, we're going to break down out of this descending triangle, in my opinion. And I'm just going to draw this roughly across here to give you a bit of an idea as to what that kind of looks like. And then we're going to hit our targets on the lower side. But we do have a little bit more upward momentum on our hourly. We do have a little bit more upward momentum on the 4-hourly chart and on the 8-hourly chart. This is basically saying that we're probably going to stay in this little wedge area here for a little bit longer before we do break on down. With Elliott wave theory, it is indicating that we have to move down. The only way that this was prevented, or to prevent ourselves moving down, is to first of all move up higher than 36.8 cents, which would create an invalidation. Okay, so if I just mark this up again from an Elliott wave point of view, we have 1, we have 2, we're down here for 3, we're up here for 4, and we're down here for 5. 4 is not allowed to cross wave 1. That would create an invalidation. But since we're quite a way away from that target, I think there's a high probability, considering our stochastic RSI momentums, considering the descending triangular wedge, we are likely to end into this little area down here. Guys, I'm going to finish this video right there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. Join us in Discord, links in the description down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and we'll catch you in the next one.